I'm a top 10 IBJJF ranked black belt and I won this match 28-0. But what I was thinking during it might not be what you expect. Let's break it down. This was the first match of the day, and I think the first match of the day is always the hardest. At least historically, no matter how hard I've warmed up, it's always also been my most conservative match, right? So if I'm not gonna submit somebody in a tournament, it's gonna be the first one. I was a bit surprised here that my opponent pulled guard because I had previously seen that she was quite good at passing, but I hadn't seen much of her guard work. But from here, I was able to get a little bit of a blast knee cut here. And honestly, at this point, we're like 20 seconds into the match. And so I'm actually thinking, oh my God, I've passed the guard in 20 seconds and I'm in side control. This is way too early. I'm not sure what am I gonna do here. So I've got this like over the back grip from side control, which is, I would say, not very good for pinning if you don't have the gi and if you don't drop your hips. And I haven't dropped my hips here. And so she's able to get this octopus guard situation. She is way more ahead of the octopus meta than me and able to get almost a reversal, Craig Jones style, to my back. And luckily I was just aware and turned into it. And so we're back into a back step or reverse half situation, which is still kind of a dangerous situation for me. I think if she kept the octopus grip, she might have been able to continue to build height and make something else happen here. This isn't how I would pass that back step half anymore, but I was able to extract my leg. And instead of going over her body for that side control, I adjusted to a crossface, and this held her down, as you can see, a lot better. I was even able to score 2 points with the knee on belly. She did a really nice job of keeping her knee in, so I wasn't confident in switching to the mount. I think under different circumstances, I might have felt more confident transitioning to the mount. But as this was my first match, I felt like I was going through it kind of fast. I wasn't really tight with my transitions, and she was able to, again, re-guard using this octopus grip. It was actually after this match I started studying octopus guard a lot more, and now octopus is quite a big part of my game. But at this point, I wasn't really sure how to deal with it. And honestly, it made me a little bit wary of passing her guard because I was like, man, I'm passing her guard, but I'm not able to hold her down for, a meaningful amount of time. Like, what should I do? Like, should I just like keep passing? But I mean, I guess the good thing is here that I am passing her guard. So if I could just keep doing that, even if I couldn't hold her down, if I could just keep doing that for 7 minutes and 50 more seconds, then that would still constitute a win for me. So now I'm up 11 points. We're 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, which means that there's 7 minutes and 30 more seconds to go. Okay, again, I didn't implement the crossface here. She's able to sneak in an octopus. I'm not really sure what sort of reversal she's going for. I've seen different variations of like cat dog and building height and wrestling up. I'm not sure what she was going for, but I think luckily I was able to stuff it. And now I'm again like looking for that crossface from the leg weave, just trying to separate her elbows and knees, flatten her out, and then twist the elbows and shoulders in different directions. And she's just doing such a good job of like building height, and now we're back in headquarters. I honestly at this point felt like headquarters was a better pinning position than side control, just because I was able to keep her hips more flat. That was a nice recovery to X guard. I kind of just powered through it. And we're back in side control, and this time I'm speeding towards the mount and trying to just hold her down. I go for this arm triangle. Something's obviously wrong with it because I don't end up submitting her. You know what? It's a win for me at this point just to keep her flat. I was a little bit worried at this time because we're in the no-gi. It's the middle of July in Virginia, and we're both getting sweaty. So I had a sense that if I was not able to submit her at this point, that it was going to be harder and harder to find a submission because just both of us were getting really sweaty. So I'm going back for this arm triangle, and I actually slip out. Or I guess I have to give her credit. She slipped out and we're back into the scramble. And I think honestly, I'm just a little bit ahead in the scramble. When you're up by 18 points, I think most people would feel confident. And I definitely was building quite a lot of confidence because I knew a lot of the things that I was doing was working, but it also comes with a little bit of pressure and responsibility because you're like, man, I'm up by 18 points. Like, I cannot mess this up. I think there are some situations where some athletes might look to stall outside of the guard and not be entangled. But, you know, as I've mentioned before in my other videos, if something works the first time in a match, it's very likely you're going to be able to do the same thing over and over throughout that match, because most athletes will not adapt in time to one specific thing, especially if it's one specific thing that you're good at during the match. Maybe after some coaching and maybe in your second or third match, they will adapt a little bit better. But you can see that I'm getting a lot of passes. So I'm just doing similar variations of the same pass. So I'm feeling pretty good that if I stay on top, I will be able to keep passing. And I'm able to get to the mount again. To be totally honest, at this point, I'm not confident at all in being able to submit her. And it's because just like you can be successful in doing one thing that you were successful at over and over, if you fail one time, I feel like it was hard for me personally to adjust to that failure and make it successful, right? So I failed at the arm triangle twice in this match already. And so I was really worried about going for it the third time and losing position or just simply not being able to do it. So I'm mostly trying to hold her down at this point because there's only 3 minutes left. I found that to be an acceptable and reasonable amount of time to just hold this position. I do end up going for kind of a smothered choke, which I have no way of knowing for sure how close it was, but that was like the safest submission I felt like I could go for without also losing position. I'll let the comments decide if you think that was close. But yeah, I was just trying to get through this match. She's able to re-guard again. So at this point, there's 45 seconds left in the match. I'm up by 25 points. Again, I am feeling confident, don't get me wrong, but also there was a very strong sense of like, I cannot mess this up, right? And so I find personally, especially given the dynamics of this match, that I shouldn't be like stalling or trying to keep distance. As long, I felt like if I close the distance, got to like headquarters or backstep, that I would continue to be able to be in a dominant position, if not scoring. And so I'm able to get one last pass and I end up winning this match 28-0. Yay, cool. So the benchmark that has worked best for me is just that you should be going into your first match warmed up as if your first match is your third match, right? So that's how like into the zone of grappling and like warm and sweaty your body should be. Of course, that's like not always possible. Like for example, there were no warm-up mats at this tournament, so I was doing burpees and running a couple laps. But I had 3 more matches this day, and then I was able to finish them all by submission in relatively quick fashion. I think all less than 5 minutes. I just wanted to break down this match just to show how I approach the first match of the day, right? And it's not always perfect and it will be refined and maybe it'll change in the next few months or a year. And I also wanted to show like what I was thinking through it, the kind of risks I took, and also the things that I was conservative about. These are the kind of things that I wish other athletes would talk through because I'm always curious what people are thinking. I think anyone can really break down technique. Like even people who are not the athletes themselves can break down that technique. And if you guys want to see technique breakdowns, please let me know in the comments. But otherwise, I would love to go through a couple more matches, maybe a few that are a little bit closer, and talk about what I was thinking, what I was feeling, what kind of decisions I made, and then if they were good or bad decisions. If you've been enjoying my content, please subscribe to my channel as I'm trying to put out more insightful videos and provide value to the jiu-jitsu community.